Good morning. It is May 11th, and I wanted to bring you a Monday morning message that will hopefully encourage you, inspire you, motivate you, and keep you focused. I want to draw your attention to a passage from First Peter chapter 4. 1 Peter chapter 4. I want to read a few verses and then we'll discuss it. It says there, "Now the end of all things is near. Therefore, be clear-headed and disciplined for prayer. Above all, keep your love for one another at full strength, since love covers a multitude of sins. Be hospitable to one another without complaining. Based on the gift they have received, everyone should use it to serve others as good managers of the varied grace of God. If anyone speaks, his speech should be like the oracles of God. If anyone serves, his service should be from the strength that God provides, so that in everything God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. To him belong the glory and the power forever and ever. Amen." So what drew my attention to that passage was that this whole experience with coronavirus and being quarantined and being sheltered in place has probably, hopefully, given us an appreciation for even the small things and the little moments of life that maybe when we were busy, when there was normal, we were taking those things for granted. And through all of this, it probably has given us a better appreciation for being able to go out to eat at restaurants, for celebrating birthday parties with large gatherings of people, attending weddings, going to church and sitting in a sanctuary together, or even the meet and greet time maybe, or the handshakes, or the meetings that were face to face. So much during these days, going all the way back to March until now, have not been normal. We've made adjustments and we've changed some things. And there are those who say it may never go back to normal. There are those who are anticipating it going back to normal and maybe even being better than it was. I just wanted us to look at how the writer of 1 Peter says the end of all things is near. Now, that one sentence alone can either cause you to think in terms of end times. Now the end of all things is near. You can certainly have an apocalyptic view of that. You can certainly have even negative inference from that. But what if I told you that it could be a reference to the end of the persecution that they were dealing with in the days of this writing? Now, the end of all things is near. Christians were under intense persecution during the writing of this, and they were very discouraged. And the whole point of 1st and 2nd Peter was actually to motivate them and to encourage them and to let them know that they were going through trial, and though they were facing terrible things and persecution, the end of that was near. Depending on how you look at it, it can be taken in a positive tone or it can be taken in a negative way. In dealing with all of this, it has reminded me that, this time of year, generally spring, is a time of renewal and a time of new things coming to life and the new colors and the new growth. And perhaps all of this has helped prepare us and helped develop us not to be the people to take things for granted, never to look at the simple things of life and just feel like, that they'll always be there because they've been taken away from us. Sporting events, movie theaters, getting your hair cut. I mean, even the things that we just, thought would always be there, at least for this time, have been taken away. I do want us, before I close this out, to talk about reality versus rhetoric. So I remember in my days back in college and advanced speech class and debate and dialogue, I remember this long discussion about rhetoric and how influential rhetoric is in our culture because we're media driven, we're into video, we're into the presentation of things, sometimes more than the substance, or the style rather than the substance. And so I want you to just kind of take a deep breath. And I want you to realize that there is the rhetoric of things and there's the reality of things. So, when we began our time of quarantine and when we didn't understand COVID-19 and we knew that it was very, very contagious and we knew that it was spreading and we didn't really know a whole lot about it. How long does it live on surfaces? How is it transferred? What's going on? Where did it come from? All of those questions were going on. We made many decisions based on rhetoric. We sometimes get caught up in the rhetoric, either the "this is no big deal," which is a rhetoric, or the "this is the end of the world," which is rhetoric. Where I'm asking us today to camp out is on the reality, because you and I can't get too caught up in either side of the rhetoric of "this is fake," "this is terrible," "this is going to be like the Spanish flu." Both sides, that is rhetoric. Somewhere in the middle is probably the truth. Somewhere in the middle is where we need to focus. And initially when this started, we were talking about flattening the curve. And that curve referred to the number of hospitalizations, the number of deaths, the number of people on ventilators, right? And we were encouraged to do our part, which I'm glad we did, and to try to flatten the curve. The discussion now is going to be about flattening a different curve, flattening the curve of the unemployment rate, flattening the curve of bankruptcies, flattening the curve of terrible things like suicide, battery, domestic abuse, violence. So what I'm saying today, I want to take you back to where Peter says, "Now the end of all things is near. Therefore be clear-headed and disciplined for prayer." The objective is to not get caught up in the rhetoric, but face the reality and be disciplined in prayer. These days of not going out and not being able to maybe socialize as much and not have sports on TV as much, has it given you a better discipline for prayer? Has it given you more opportunities to study God's Word when you used to say, "Oh, I just don't have time. I got too many things to do. I've got too many places to go"? Maybe quarantine changed all that for you for the better, and it can continue that way. Above all, keep your love for one another at full strength. Full strength, not halfway, not somewhere in the middle, at full strength. Keep your love for one another, since love covers a multitude of sins. Be hospitable to one another. That's been a great thing through this coronavirus, is to see the hospitality. There's been some bad. But to see the number of people giving up hours upon hours and sacrifice of time to make masks, to put together care packages, what a blessing that has been. To see the healthcare workers working on the front line and doing their part, those first responders who are essential and had no choice but to work. He says, be hospitable to one another without complaining, and based on the gift they have received, everyone should use it to serve others. You've been given a gift. It doesn't even question that. It's an assumed, understood practice here that every person has a gift. And are you using it to help others? I love the closing there where it says, so that in everything God may be glorified through Jesus Christ. To him belong the glory and the power forever and ever. All of this is coming to an end, and we can come out more unified. We can come out better. We can come out focused, and hopefully we can come out more appreciative, more grateful, more thankful, that we'll savor the moments, that the next time we're able to sit in a restaurant, that we'll show a little more gratitude for the server, that will show a little more gratitude for the restaurant manager, that the next time we're able to actually go to a movie theater and watch a movie, we'll pay attention more to the atmosphere, to the surroundings, because we didn't know that would be taken away. The next time maybe we're at a sporting event, maybe we will be more passionate about our team, and maybe we'll be more supportive of the fans. I just think that through all of this, we can actually come out better and we can come out stronger and more unified. And that's my hope and that's my prayer. God bless you. Stay focused and stay positive about all of this. And remember, there's rhetoric and there's reality. Stay focused on the reality.